You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Topping our news tonight, the Manatee County School Board meeting this evening to discuss numerous issues going on in the school district. But one of the top concerns on people's minds is the recent dispute between board member Dave Miner and board chair Scott Hopes. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live tonight from the Manatee County School District building in Bradenton with more on what took place tonight. Rick?
Yeah, Jacqueline, it was a very peaceful meeting here tonight, but 2 weeks ago, it was a whole other story. Tuesday was the first Manatee County School Board meeting since the board chair, Dr. Scott Hopes, and board member Dave Miner had a dispute over an issue at a meeting 2 weeks ago. That dispute spilled over into the parking lot where everything was captured on camera. Hopes claims that Miner used profanity, screamed at him, and attempted to run him over. Both remained calm Tuesday afternoon during a workshop and later at the board meeting.
I think we accomplished what we set out to accomplish. I think we were all engaged. We had productive dialogue, and we're going to continue to just work through our relationship.
Hopes did briefly address the dispute prior to public comments, stating that the argument should have remained a private matter and that this should not get in the way of the work the board needs to accomplish for the people of the school district. Luz Corcuera is a Bradenton resident who attended Tuesday's meeting. She believes that Hopes and Miner have to resolve their issues immediately.
People who are elected in office, they need to be role models. They need to be example for our children. I hope that they can air their differences.
Hopes did file a complaint with the Bradenton Police Department last week regarding the alleged assault. He tells us that he's optimistic that he and Miner will talk this through and put this incident behind them.
I've asked that the Bradenton Police Department just put everything on hold. We have a workshop next Friday. We continue to have workshops on board interaction and board processes.
And we have reached out to Dave Miner numerous times, but he has yet to comment on this. Reporting live from Bradenton, I'm Rick Adams. Jacqueline, back to you.
Thank you so much. The school board also deciding on a name tonight for the new middle school coming to East Manatee County. The board unanimously voting to name it Dr. Mona Jane Middle School. It received 27 different nominations for names, and there were many folks on hand at tonight's school board meeting who spoke in support of naming the school after Dr. Mona Jane, while some others supported naming the middle school after Barbara Hershey.
We're very, very excited, very, very proud of her. You know, she's been a giant in our community as far as education is concerned. She represents the Indian community to a very high degree, and now this really tops whatever she's achieved in her entire career.
The new Dr. Mona Jane Middle School will be located just east of Gullett Elementary School on 44th Avenue East and is scheduled to open in August of 2019. A follow-up now to an investigation into a suspected cancer cluster at Bayshore High School. For the last 4 months, health officials have been collecting patient information forms for a health study after concerns of a cancer cluster arose from Bayshore High alumni. The deadline to complete the form for that study is Friday, March 30th. Health officials say a final report will be returned 6 months later. Months after the death of Charles Manson, a Suncoast man, his grandson is being awarded custody of his body. Manson's grandson, Jason Freeman, lives in Bradenton and says he plans to cremate his grandfather's remains and hold a small family ceremony. Manson died 4 months ago at the age of 83 after spending nearly 50 years in prison for the murder spree that left actress Sharon Tate and 6 others dead back in 1969.
I've known who my grandfather is and was all his life. I did have a chance to get to know him for him, which is a different man from what I've always known from the media and from the movies and in the books.
There's no word yet on who will retain the rights to Manson's estate, which could be worth millions, including both music rights to songs that Manson wrote as well as his personal keepsakes. A chaotic and congested I-75 causing the interstate to become more like a parking lot than a highway, especially during rush hours. There seems to be more drivers than the 6-lane highway can handle. The stretch of interstate in Manatee and Sarasota counties experiencing an average of 4 accidents every day. But Florida Highway Patrol and FDOT says they are trying to work and fix that problem.
During season, you have to remember that we have so many more visitors down here that I-75 can become a little bit more congested. And when this happens, we have to remember that you have to leave a little bit earlier. You have to plan ahead. And the one thing you want to avoid is losing your patience and becoming one of the aggressive drivers that we as an agency are consistently addressing.
A $192 million construction project starting in 2020 is in the works to rebuild the US 301 and I-75 interchange and to also add auxiliary lanes. The average U.S. household pays thousands of dollars every year in federal income taxes, but Floridians are on the lower end of that spectrum. Wallet Hub naming Florida the top state for income tax rates in the country. That means Floridians pay the least amount of income taxes each year. That's because there's no state income tax, so workers in the state are only paying federal income tax. The ranking put Florida at number 9 for overall effective state and local tax rates and below average at number 27 when it comes to real estate tax. Well, certainly a chilly night here on the Suncoast. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob?
Things cooling down, yes, indeed. Temperature right now 54 degrees. Have a bit of a wind out of a north-northeast at 6 miles an hour. That's cutting right through. And dew point temperature has come up a little bit since earlier today. It's at 46 right now, and it looks like the pressure continues to rise at 30-11. Current temperatures across the state: 44 in Tallahassee, 43 in Jacksonville. Still pretty warm in Miami and in Key West, in the mid-60s there, but we're 10 degrees cooler here along the Suncoast. That wind out of the north and northwest here along the coast, you can see that trend is anywhere from 5 to 10 inland, a little bit more so near the coast. 10-mile-an-hour wind in Minnesota and Northport at 7 miles an hour out of the northwest. So lows tonight to start things off. Tomorrow morning we'll be in the low 40s in the inland areas in Port Charlotte and Northport, right around 41 degrees. Mayaca City at 41. Venice, you'll be 47, a little closer to the water there in Venice, and Braden the same, 51, Anna Maria, and 51 as well into Longboat Key. So temperatures on the chilly side, and it looks like it's going to stay that way too as a dry cold front will be moving through on Wednesday morning. We'll talk more about that coming up in a few minutes. Jacqueline?
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Bob. President Trump is in California making his first visit there since becoming president, and amid a legal battle between the state and his Justice Department. ABC's Danya Backus has the latest from Los Angeles.
President Trump's visit to California met by supporters and protesters.
Are they paying for that wall?
This is the president's first visit to the state since taking office and comes just 1 week after his Justice Department announced its plan to sue California over obstructing federal immigration enforcement efforts.
We're looking very much at the wall with some see-through capability on the other side.
His first stop in California, San Diego, where he inspected 8 design prototypes for his proposed wall along the U.S.-Mexico border, each one costing taxpayers a minimum of $300,000.
For those people, if you don't have a wall system, we're not going to have a country.
Ahead of the president's visit, California Governor Jerry Brown posting a letter to the president on Twitter, inviting him to visit other parts of the state, saying we are focusing on bridges, not walls. President Trump later speaking to Marines and other service members at MCAS Miramar, saying he hopes for something positive to come out of potential talks with North Korea.
We always have to be prepared for anything, but I really believe something very positive could happen. Great for Korea, North and South, and great for the world and great for this country.
And Tuesday night, a fundraiser was held at the Beverly Hills home of Tampa Bay Buccaneers owner Ed Glazer, where donors reportedly paid $250,000 to attend. Danya Backus, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Vice President Mike Pence is honoring Women's History Month with a speech at the Independent Women's Forum. It was held this evening in Washington. The VP mentioned millions of new jobs added in the country since President Trump took office, adding the achievement has a special impact on women. He also highlighted the 212,000 female active duty members of the U.S. military. Straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, one of the students critically injured in the Parkland school shooting is improving after being credited with saving nearly 20 students' lives. And new developments in the Russian spy case, where a father and daughter are in critical condition after being poisoned.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes, B, console her,
don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
We all love our kids and want what's best for them. You have the power to help your kids learn to succeed in life every day. When you promote a love for learning at home, children build the skills they need to be ready for school. You can be their everyday hero. It's easy. Just text Everyday Hero to 77453 for simple learning tips.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
That weather is chilly. I am so ready for a little bit of a warm up. I know some people are liking the colder temperatures.
Well,
but
I know my aunts are coming down, my uncle as well, and they want the warmer temperatures. You know, it was different though in February. It's just hard to believe how warm February was, and this is now below average. So it's going to be weird to see how this shapes up. If it continues on this cold trend, we'll have the warmest and the coldest month back to back. We have had some chillier weather around lately, and that's a result of a cold front that moved through. Casey Key webcam. Beautiful out there on the water. Things starting to calm down a little bit, but still, we have this the secondary push of colder air, which is going to be moving through Wednesday morning. And so temperatures are not going to warm up all that much tomorrow. It'll be similar to what we had today. And you can see from that nice sunset tonight, there's some great photos that were sent in. This one from the fishing pier there in Osprey. And Joni getting this one. Stan, we appreciate that. Norm always comes through with some great photos. This is Norm Schimmel from Sarasota. Norm, that's right. Some snow up there in the northeast right now in Domain. Still continuing with the third nor'easter in less than 2 weeks. And guess what? There could be another one on the way next week. Now, as far as that snow goes, it's starting to lessen somewhat in New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, but still raging in Maine right now, where they could pick up an additional 6 inches of snow. They've already had over a foot of snowfall there, and looks like more on the way, at least through Wednesday, but most of the snow now going to be winding down throughout the day on Wednesday. Well, I mentioned the nor'easter, another one on the way possibly. You'll see some energy move through parts of the central U.S. and eventually emerge out here in the Atlantic, and there it is. Now, this particular model, the European model, is projecting a fairly significant storm system come next Tuesday, and it looks like it may be close enough to cause some more heavy snow for the Northeast. So we'll see how that plays out. There's a long way to go, and a lot can happen, but that would be unprecedented. 4 nor'easters in less than really 2.5 weeks. 54 degrees right now here, and we have clear skies, and the dew point temperature fairly low at 46, although that number has come up somewhat. Winds out of the north-northeast, not too strong. The high today was 64. That's well below the average of 76. This morning's low was cold, 44, a little bit of a wind, making it feel into the upper 30s to low 40s in places. So here it is for us. We have high pressure that's going to dominate our weather right now over much of the lower Mississippi Valley. That gives us that north wind when it's to the west of us like this. And that high pressure really isn't going to move much. So we're going to see that north wind all the way through Thursday. And then on Friday afternoon, it turns more to the northeast. We'll start to warm up by Friday afternoon. We'll be back in the low 70s, still below average, but still a little bit warmer than the mid 60s that we saw today. No real threat of any rainfall here until that nor'easter develops off the mid-Atlantic coast states. It will sweep another cold front our way come Tuesday, late Monday, Tuesday. Now the timing of it appears for us next week. There's still some confusion on the models, exactly the timing and the intensity of that cold front. But for the time being, we'll stay pretty chilly. Mid-60s, lots of sunshine tomorrow, a few high clouds moving in. Temperatures are not all that extreme over the Northeast and throughout the Great Lakes, in the 20s and 30s there in places like St. Louis and Detroit. Highs tomorrow a little bit warmer. Kansas City 63, 48 in Chicago. Toronto getting up to 35. So you'll notice that despite that big snowstorm over the Northeast, temperatures are not all that extreme as far as temperatures go, but there's going to be some dips and some Arctic air over the Northeast over the upcoming week and a half. For us, we'll bounce back into the 70s. It looks like even 80-degree temperatures possibly on Sunday. And then we'll notice a little bit cooler air moving in after that front moves through on Tuesday of next week. So here's the forecast for boaters tomorrow. Still a little bit rough going out there, a moderate chop. Seas running 2 to 3 feet. And it looks as though things will start to calm a little bit more so on Thursday. So the 7-day forecast calling for 60s on Wednesday and Thursday. You'll notice these low temperatures, low 40s on Thursday morning. Looks good for St. Patrick's Day. A high temperature will be in the mid-70s, and temperatures staying fairly warm right through Tuesday of next week before that next cold front moves in. Jacqueline?
Okay, thanks, Bob. One person is dead and several injured after a charter bus crashed near the Alabama-Florida border this morning. The bus was carrying high school band students back to Houston, Texas from Disney World when it plunged into a deep ravine off Interstate 10. A video of that crash shows the bus's front axle separated from the vehicle and doors to the luggage compartments ripped off. The bus driver died at the scene. The Baldwin County Sheriff's Office says there is 1 critical injury and 5 are serious. All other injuries are minor. Authorities say they are investigating the cause of that crash. One of the students critically injured in the Parkland school shooting is improving. 15-year-old Anthony Borges developed an intestinal infection weeks after being shot 5 times. A spokesperson at Broward Health says the teen's condition is now upgraded to fair. He's credited with saving the lives of 20 students by trying to close and lock a classroom door during the attack. Borges and his family previously announced plans to sue the Broward County School District and others for failing to protect students during the massacre. A teen boy was among the 2 people killed in a series of deadly package bombs delivered to homes in Austin, Texas. 17-year-old Draylon Mason was killed Monday morning. Mason's mother is in stable condition after she too was injured in that explosion. A 39-year-old man was also killed in one of the bombings, and an elderly woman was critically injured. Police said the incidents appear to be connected.
This whole past 10 days has been like a movie scene. Like you can't even emotionally process or wrap your head around this.
They have not yet decided if these were hate crimes, but it is considered a possibility because all of the victims are African American and Hispanic. Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced a $15,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. An additional award of $50,000 was later announced by Houston ATF, the San Antonio FBI Division, and Austin Police. There are also new developments in that Russian spy case in England, where a father and daughter are in critical condition after being poisoned. President Trump saying this morning that based on the evidence, it sounds like Russia is at fault. ABC's Julia McFarlane has more.
What started as a mysterious incident in a small English city is steadily turning into an international diplomatic showdown.
It is now clear that Mr. Skripal and his daughter were poisoned with a military-grade nerve agent of a type developed by Russia.
Explain what happened in Salisbury, or Britain will take it as an unlawful use of force. The ultimatum issued by Prime Minister Theresa May on Monday. Moscow has until midnight today to respond. The View from the White House? After initially hesitating to place blame, President Trump admitting it looks like Russia is indeed behind the attack.
As soon as we get the facts straight, if we agree with them, we will condemn Russia or whoever it may be.
Good afternoon.
More details from Scotland Yard today on the investigation. Now 34 people in total received treatment after the attack. For the third time since Sergei Skripal and his daughter were attacked, the cabinet has convened its National Security Council. Options discussed: a possible cyber attack, expelling Russian broadcaster RT, and a possible boycott of the 2018 World Cup in Russia.
You've got to understand the outrage of people in this country.
British Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson said he was reassured following conversations with NATO allies, including France's Emmanuel Macron, his counterpart in Germany, and Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, who issued a strong defence of Britain, but who was today fired by the president less than a day after condemning Russia. Russia's Foreign Secretary Sergei Lavrov, speaking today, said that Russia would not respond to May's request until the UK provided samples of the nerve agent. He added that the allegations were rubbish. The clock is ticking for Theresa May's ultimatum issued to the Kremlin, and it's looking increasingly likely that Moscow is not going to play ball. The British government is due to convene another meeting of its National Security Council on Wednesday to discuss its options, the stakes getting ever higher. Julia McFarlane, ABC News, Salisbury.
Speaking of Russia, Suncoast Representative Tom Rooney is speaking out about the investigation into Russia's efforts targeting the 2016 election. He is a senior member of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence and released a statement on the committee's decision to conclude its bipartisan investigation. He says the review found no evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russian government, adding there is no dispute that Russia's intention to gain access to our democratic process cannot be ignored. He says the committee's oversight over Russian threats will continue. Stay with us. Sports is coming up next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Tonight, Kimmel's Newer Than New.
But don't take my word for it.
It's true. And we've got the very, very, very funny Andy Samberg.
Am I being set up here? I don't understand the game.
Plus, the multi-talented Lena Waithe.
Amazing.
And the legendary Buddy Guy. Kimmel, new tonight on ABC.
So Matt told me to meet him at 7 a.m. sharp right here. It is now 7:01 a.m. You think Matt will leave without me? Hey, is Matt here?
Long con.
Long gone.
Just missed him.
Just missed him.
All done.
Mr. Sparky guarantees they're on time and the repair is free, so chop chop.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Matt, you started without me.
I finished without you, too.
The 2018 Sarasota County Fair is set to begin March 16th through 25th. This year, there'll be rides for everyone, thanks to Bell City Amusements. Experience your favorite entertainers, along with some new and exciting acts, like the Tiger Encounter, the Kachunga and Alligator Show, comedian ventriloquist Steve Brogan, plus our new and exciting SRQ Schools at its best. And remember, ride armbands all day, every day. The 2018 Sarasota County Fair, March 16th through 25th. See you there.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
In life after the military, it's our duty as veterans to have each other's back. I'm retired Colonel Greg Gatson, and it's my mission to help you get the benefits and services you've earned. If you need to file a VA claim, remember these important steps. Submit an online claim through ebenefits.va.gov. Work with an accredited Veteran Service Organization, or VSO. And if you need to attend a VA claim exam, please go. Visit this website to learn what to expect.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. Stylish and stress-free looks to get ready for vacation season, plus ultra-modern homes in Suncoast for sale and Louis Modern in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Now, sports.
Venice High graduate and Super Bowl hero Trey Burton threw out the first pitch of today's Phillies game in Clearwater, and then word leaked that Burton was changing teams, leaving Philadelphia to sign with the Chicago Bears. Burton reportedly signing a 4-year contract with the Bears worth $32 million. Burton threw a touchdown pass in last month's Super Bowl to quarterback Nick Foles on a trick play just before halftime, which he reenacted during today's first pitch. He will likely become the Bears' #1 tight end after catching 5 touchdowns last season for the Eagles. And plenty of spring training action here on the Suncoast tomorrow. The Orioles will host the New York Yankees, which will likely bring out a huge crowd to Ed Smith Stadium. And the Pirates will take on the Rays at Lecom Park in Bradenton. Both of those games get underway just after 1 p.m. That's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers when we come back.
My California Closets designer is a rock star. She was able to design the most beautiful space for me. When I turn the lights on, it's breathtaking. La! It's just a little slice of organized heaven. The California Closet team was so professional, so reliable. It was seriously a dream come true. My name is Jill, and this is my California Closet story.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Our accolades are great. Just wait until you see our prices. Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed. isn't it? Why is
heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions. Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke, it's a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC7, weekdays starting at 5. Winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Two California brothers are on a mission. They're traveling by foot and wheels from Florida to Washington, D.C. to honor the victims of the Parkland school shooting. They started 2 weeks ago in South Florida at the site of the shooting, and now they're riding their bikes, walking and running about 50 miles a day all the way to Washington. They will join thousands of others at the March for Our Lives rally on March 24th. Their goal is to raise awareness for the victims and survivors. Certainly bringing some awareness to what they are doing.
Absolutely. We are looking at some showers coming our way on Tuesday of next week, but until then, things stay dry here. And for tomorrow, it looks to be pretty good, too. We're looking for some sunshine, a lot of that, but temperatures on the cooler side running in through. We'll see highs only in the mid-60s. Of course, meteorologist John Scalzi will have more on the potential for another nor'easter developing off the Carolina coast. So updated model will be coming out by then.
All right. Thank you, Bob. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow.